I would drop this cup again, but it's actually got tea in it, so I'm not going to make a mess. But imagine me doing that right now. That's how I feel. Supernatural. Wow. Holy crap. Alright. Well, how do I not spoil it? Well, probably I'll leave it to the end. At the very end, I will say what possibly was just implied in this episode. The episode takes place right after the last one did, and so much to the point actually where the guy who they fixed, I can't remember his name, but the guy who they saved in the last episode who turned himself in, it looks like I don't have to worry about that idea of him getting his soul back while in prison because he got killed. And it turns out that Crowley is trying to kill off all of these people that the darkness has taken souls from. He's trying to clean up the mess so the angels and the Winchesters don't find out about what's going on. However, the darkness has grown again to her third stage. I'm really imagining her kind of in the whole Frieza and Cell, third stage 3 process thing. And this one is now of a mature age. And she, I'm just happy. Okay, the little girl, nothing against her. She was good, but her eyebrows, man, her eyebrows were really wigging me out. Anyway, but this one has a lot more of a mature side to it, especially when there's a conversation between her and Dean, which is very interesting. I think this episode is probably one of the best shot episodes. Obviously, with a television show, you can't do a lot. You're limited, obviously. You don't have that many resources. You can't do Roger Deakins' work and whatnot. But when you keep shooting the same conversation over and over again, it can be obviously extremely difficult. So trying to do something new or trying to at least put a new spin on something that's been done a million times can obviously be difficult. This episode did it well. There are a lot of really good conversations, especially the one at the end between Dean and the darkness, which was very well shot. And the whole theme of this episode was kind of regret and redemption, but from an opposite side. We actually catch up with Metatron, and I totally forgot about his entire story arc in Season 10. I hated this character so much in Season 9. I thought he was honestly a terrible villain, and the only thing that he did that was that he killed Dean, technically. So I didn't really like him, so the fact that he reappeared in this episode doing this whole Nightcrawler thing by filming all these people, I thought that was funny. But then Castiel, who has been binge watching so much, finally went out and did some, got his hands dirty, but we discovered the big woo about what the darkness is. And just before I talk about that, I'm going to make a reference. I swear I should do a Crowley moment of the week, almost. Because this time, while he was going through all of his, his subordinates were telling him all his his statistics and everything, he's reading this book inside of his statistic book that says how to control your aggressive teen or your rebellious teen. I thought that was a Crowley moment. So, the two big things that happened in this episode, I'm going to say them now, so if you're wondering, this was a great episode, but if you want me to keep going, be prepared. Possibly watch your episode first. The darkness is God's sister. Holy shit, that's one moment of this episode. This episode had two of those, so settle yourself down after that one. So we find out that to do this creation, to do what he had to do to create the universe, supposedly in the supernatural universe, God had to sacrifice his sister to create everything. As cool as that is, I do admit it's kind of just a little bit like they literally thought of the first thing. But admittedly, it is still pretty cool. I'm just kind of thinking about it in my head and going, that's really, I don't know, it's against. But then again, the whole point of what Metatron is saying is that it's completely, he's not the one that everyone knows. This is, he even made a joke that he's basically they probably thought they were gonna pee off the any Bible thumpers with this whole comment. But that's the first. The second was Sam's Vision. The Vision at first was hands in a cage. It's like, okay, well, maybe this is, I don't know, the darkness is the origin and creeping out. Then it zooms out and it shows a cage. Holy shit. If they actually bring back Michael and Lucifer, I will shit my pants. I can't believe they're actually going in that direction, but I'm very happy they are. So that was the second brick to be shacked in that episode. Overall, the whole episode was actually very well done. We had great sort of tension between Crowley and Dean, Dean, and the Darkness all in this one scene, and there were so many different stories going on, but it was all really well edited together. Castiel beating up Metatron, figuring out that, and then Dean and the Darkness and Crowley almost getting killed to the point where you actually thought he was going to die. And to be honest, I actually was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're almost going to kill Crowley. Please don't kill Crowley, because I like Crowley. So that's really great. You know, that's something that I do admit that I commemorate some Supernatural for doing, is creating a villain character that we like so much that we don't want him to die. Even in the moment where he possibly could die, we like Crowley so much that we don't want him to die. So in the end, this episode gets a 6 out of 7. At first, it starts off a little odd, but then it really grows into this. And I will say, sure, we're only still a couple of episodes into this season, but the fact that they have kept consistent with this whole story has been great. Mind you, the next episode apparently has a killer bunny, so that's going to be interesting. I hope we'll see if that keeps on the whole darkness track. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed this review. See you next time.